We found out after it was already done, so we didn't hear about it prior to. The beginning, it didn't quite, feel real, and what does it mean? What would it be like to not have the bush? I wasn't sure how to feel about it, in the sense of what are we going to lose, a community and our history. Just having that place that can stand the test of time, or has stood the test of time, that we don't lose that.
Seattle losing Busch Garden, what that means. It means that the second oldest Japanese restaurant in the state of Washington closes, that a community resource, a business, a legacy site for the city of Seattle and all of her citizenry will no longer be here. It's irreplaceable. And the fact that it's not being respected by the city, respected by the preservation board, respected by the new owners who think they can put cash down and take whatever they want, is fucked up.
This building has always been kind of a gathering place. It's like there's something about this space that creates that community. When Busch Garden moved from the Busch Hotel to here in 1953, the family actually designed and built all of this.
My father-in-law started it with Fred Hasakawa and his sister-in-law Lillian Tomoda. He had a vision about things, he was before his time. He invented all the recipes and designed the interior and everything. I think it was like a little bit of Japan, because we had our waitresses dressed in kimonos, and we had the tatami rooms. We had 40 of them. My father-in-law invented the hole that was underneath the table, and so you could sit down like you were at a chair. And he said that none of the Americans could sit down on their legs and be comfortable, so he designed that. And he put a rug underneath, and then we had little cushions that we all sat on. And then the tablecloth covered the hole, so you couldn't really see anything. But we had a lot of hanky-panky going on. And we had actually Princess Michiko, who is in Japan now, and her aunt and uncle came. And we had to close up the whole restaurant for security's sake, because they wouldn't allow anybody. So we had to make all this Japanese food. I don't know if it was as good as the ones they got in Japan, but they ate it. We had cooks. And we had a hard time getting chefs, because the immigration would only let so many people in. They kept saying, well, they're taking away, the jobs from the American people. So I said, how many people here know how to make sushi or make Japanese food, And a lot of the chefs that came over finally got their visas, and they opened up their own restaurants. So a lot of the restaurants today are run by people that worked for us at one time or another. We started the karaoke bar, later on in the 60s, and we were the first karaoke to be in the whole United States, actually. And at that time, they didn't have the key changers and the video with the words popping up. It was more a scenic video that was on a screen. We had karaoke here, Japanese karaoke, back 8-track tapes. You're thinking 8-track, and the menus for the songs were handwritten in Japanese. So if you didn't read Japanese, there's no way you're going to sing. And it still wasn't popular everywhere. So really, in the API community, it was a different kind of world. Here, how it looks now and how it looked then is quite different. I think now I really like how it feels. People come in, they sing, they support each other. If somebody's doesn't remember the song and they're having a tough time, the whole room starts singing with them. I love that here people have learned the culture of karaoke in a way that is more of a sharing and supportive way.
Being at Busch Garden meant being not only with some of the best singers in the city and the best drinkers in the city, but also meeting Congress members, city council members, right? State legislators, journalists, artists, activists, advocates, right? And exchanging knowledge, exchanging wisdom, absorbing wisdom and lessons learned, and really becoming a stronger organizer, becoming a stronger advocate at the same time as you're building community, right?
They started in January, and at that time they said a year and a half. And then as we were approaching the year time, they said potentially it could be, 2 years. There's been a lot of support for us to try and continue somewhere. I'm feeling a little more hopeful and energized about the future of Bush. When the opportunity came up for us to move into the new development, Uncle Bob's place that Interim is doing, it was very exciting. I think all of those things were things that felt really good for us, that they want to build a space that's going to be a community gathering space so people can come and share right there on the corner. I think it's going to be really exciting, and that we get to be a part of that just feels like it is in sync with what Busch Garden is now. I feel the idea about losing valuable things in our community, in our city, that there's a part of me that really wants to push to preserve and not just as a museum place to go recognize and see the story, but something that people can come and experience in a very authentic way. But I don't want to lose the neighborhood and its history and the story it has to tell.
First, we prevent every possible aspect of demolition of a place where civil rights leaders that I have looked up to and mentored me for years sang and taught me to sing and have fun and do more than just advocate for new laws.
I oppose the redevelopment of the historic Busch Garden building because the proposed building will not serve a majority of CID residents, immigrants, and refugees in both price and unwieldy scale. I oppose the redevelopment of the historic Busch Garden building because the very soul of our neighborhood is threatened by development such as this.
Once you lose the building, Busch Garden building, you're going to lose a lot of history. And it's not necessarily Chinese history. I think the International District, Chinatown, was called that for a reason. It includes a lot of other people besides Chinese people, and we all lived and worked together in this same neighborhood. And I don't feel like erasing 100 years of that history is worth this development.